Hey, you guys. I thought I would stop in for a little afternoon pick me up. It's quite a gloomy day here in San Antonio, and some interesting ideas have passed through my mind and through conversation that I genuinely wanted to share. And then I also thought it would be a little sunshiny to connect with you. So hopefully, there's something in this that will also resonate with you. So, my question is, let me look at my notes. What is your joy and what is your purpose not yet seen? What is your joy and what is your purpose not yet seen? Think about that. I think it's a really exciting thought. Um, I think many of us are really hungry for a sense of purpose and to feel certain of what that purpose is. And I have some ideas about how we can live our purpose or be in the best position to do that. But I think that for most of us, we're less concerned with like knowing what our purpose is. This is my purpose, discovering it, as we are with ultimately living our purpose. Do you know what I mean? It's not always going to be something that you have this sort of clear TV screen visualization idea of like, oh, yes, this is my purpose. This is why I'm on this planet. Perhaps purpose is something that is just lived and fulfilled, and we have a sense if we're on the track of it, but it's not so clear cut, and sometimes we're given the pieces along the way. So it's more about living it than being super crazy defined about what it is, and also to keep in mind that our purpose and living that is in itself a journey. That it's not something that always has to be or even can be fully planned and understood and fleshed out, but that our purpose is a journey. And in having that inner sense that we are aligning with it, that we are on the path or hugging the path or getting closer to the path, that is a source of joy. So, how can we, if it's not something that we can always totally quantify and describe, then how do we have the sense that we are on that path? And so, the conversation where all this was coming up, I was talking with a collaborator at a Catholic university here in San Antonio, and we were planning something that sort of combined the Baha'i fast, which leads to the Baha'i New Year, with Lent, which of course leads to Easter. And so we were talking about these spiritual principles that we also see in nature of stripping away, of the dying of the old, of restraint, of the leaves, falling in the fall and the barren trees in winter. And then from that clean slate comes the blossoming of spring and comes a rising and renewal and new birth and new possibilities and new beginnings. And so, like, what in our lives can we strip away? And it doesn't have to be a fast or something like that, though in my own experience, it's very helpful for 19 days to have to be so mindful of like what I'm doing and why I'm doing it during the daylight. Like that's very helpful. But I'm sure there are a million gazillion other ways that you can find. Hey, Kent. Um, Other ways that you can find to minimize distraction in your own inner space, to be able to start paying attention, Because remember, my opening question was, what is your joy and what is your purpose that you have not yet seen? So, what can you clear away? A bad habit, a bad dynamic, a cell phone addiction, any habit that you have that you aren't satisfied with, or that like kind of leaves that residue in your life that you wish you didn't have it, or whatever it is. Like, what can you clear away just to make a little bit more space for seeing in your life? And honestly, this is one of the things that I love the most about visual art, is like being in the process of creating visual art makes me much more attuned to the world around me. Like, I notice a lot more visually when I have been like focusing on mixing paints all day and that sort of thing. And I'm sure for you, you've noticed something, whether it's like exercise and the high you feel, or prayer, or things like that, that help you to be more in a space of noticing what's going on around you. So yeah, so clearing out, clearing distractions, and then noticing. What can you pay attention to that might spark more of your intuition and help navigate you to where you feel like you are contributing as you should be, and all the little moments that ultimately build up to the big moments. So good luck with that, you guys, with finding your purpose and your joy that you are not yet seeing. And it's okay if like it's never totally clearly seen. Like, hey, Kenny, I've got a Kent and a Kenny. That's so funny. So yeah, I'm just about to wrap this up. But the question was, what is your joy and purpose that you are not yet seeing? And like to approach that question with like compassion and enthusiasm for all the possibilities. If you, in little tiny ways, work on minimizing distractions. Hey, Danny. And pay attention and know that the answers will come. Live your questions, like that Rilke poem. Oh, I used to have it right by me. Live your questions now, and then one day, without realizing it, you may find that you are living the answers. All right, you guys, have a good one. Thanks for brightening my day a little bit.